This video is brought to you by Hobby Lobby. So, have you seen those 3D pumpkin wreath frames at Hobby Lobby? Well, I picked one up and I'm going to show you how to use it. We're going to take yarn, ribbon, and some fall foliage, and we're going to put together the perfect pumpkin wreath. So, let's get started. I'm so excited to show you how to make a pumpkin wreath with Hobby Lobby products. So thank you, Hobby Lobby, for sponsoring this video. I love making these projects. They're so much fun. So we are gonna do a 3D pumpkin. These are 3D pumpkin wreaths, and you can get them from Hobby Lobby. Everything will be linked in the description box below of where you can purchase it all, whether you wanna do it online or whether you just wanna go in the store and pick them up. But get some yarn, get some fall foliage. They have so many options that you don't have to pick my color scheme. You can pick so many different colors they have to choose from. So let's get started and make something beautiful for fall. So let's get started with the base. We're gonna build the base first and then add our leaves or foliage or whatever you wanna do. But I'm gonna start with this yarn. It's the Yarn Bee brand. This is True Color, super bulky. It's really, really soft and really pretty. Now, here's the thing. You can use so many different kinds of different yarn that Hobby Lobby has to offer. This is just what caught my eye, but there's like chunky yarn, like chenille, and then there's a thinner yarn, more like, you know, what you would knit a blanket with, but there's so many different options. It's really what you love and what draws you to it. Now, I love, whenever I see like the ivory pumpkins, I am really drawn to those. So I went with this one. And make sure to get your yarn. They run a sale 30% off, so it's a great place to buy yarn. So we're gonna open this up, and this is the Yarn Bee. I don't know if it has yep, it's just ivory. I will again link all of this in the description box below for you. And there it is. I always have a hard time finding the end, so I'm glad I found it. It was pretty simple this time. So basically what we're gonna do is we are going to unravel a good part of this, all right? So basically, you know what I want to do is I'm going to just kind of make my own little ball here, because we're going to run it through the like frame wires of this frame. So we of course can't use this whole ball of yarn. So I'm going to kind of make my own little ball here. So just do this, and then that way it gets you started. And I think this is probably a good size to go through. So I'm going to cut this. So you're going to do this several times, okay? So we're going to start, if you look at your frame, you have, these are pretty uneven when you look on it on my cuttery mat, and my cuttery mat has seen better days, but these are all the same level. So this is where I'm going to start, is the inside brackets here. So the middle two on each side, that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to take my yarn, couldn't think of what I was calling it. I'm going to take just a zip tie, or you could even, actually you could even just make a little tie, but I'm going to just use this. I'm going to zip tie it to the frame. Okay. So we're going to get this started. All right, and basically you're gonna weave this in and out, okay? So I'm gonna weave it in and out, all right? So there is the first row, okay? Now I'm gonna go back and do the same thing. But this time, I'm gonna go all the way to, whoops, this one. We're just gonna go all the way to that outside bracket, okay? And then I'm going to pull it like so. My little ball kind of got away from me, all right? All right, so now I'm gonna go inside this one, and we're gonna go back, and you're just gonna weave it back and forth. So this is basically what you're gonna do, all right? Let's bring it all together here. And basically, do you remember doing this as kids, like weaving paper? This is basically what you're gonna do. So we're gonna weave it. So now we're gonna go on the other side of this bracket. All right, I'm gonna roll this up again. Make it a little bit easier to deal with. All right, I'm gonna make sure that it goes all the way down, and then I'm gonna come back, and now I'm gonna do the same thing. All right, now, okay? So now we're gonna come on the outside edge here and we're going to go and weave it again. So do under and over, under and over. All right, see how that works? Okay. Oops. And then you're gonna take it and you're gonna go around and go under and over, and you're just gonna keep doing the same thing until you get it all the way up to there, okay? So this side, I'm gonna go under. So that one I went over, now I'm going under. So just weave it like you did in elementary school with your paper. So I'm going to do this, and when this comes to an end, I will stop the video and I will show you what I did so that I can kind of show you what we're gonna do to kind of connect to go to the next one, because we're gonna need a lot more yarn than just this one. All right, so we're to the point where we need to add more yarn. So I wanna cut it in between here. I don't wanna let it get to the side. I want to make a little, you know, knot, slip knot, a double slip knot. And I'm just going to make it pretty tight there. And then just cut off the excess so that this stays behind everything that we do. And so basically I'm gonna just cut this, make another little ball, and I'm gonna keep going back and forth until we get up here. And so when I get closer to the top, I'll come back and show you the next step. Okay, so I've gotten all the way up here, and basically when you get to the top of it, you're just gonna keep pushing it back. But let me show you here. When you get to the end here that you can't go anymore, you're just gonna leave that and go to the next one. So here we're gonna go pull our yarn through. So there's not much room. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it in one more time here. Okay. And you really can't do the ball thing that we did before here because there's just not the room. So I'm gonna get this through here. And I do, this one knotted up on me here. I do make a little knot at the end so that it doesn't all unravel on me, but it's just gonna have little knots here and there, and that's okay. It's gonna look fine. So we're just gonna keep going. So now I'm over on that side. I'm gonna come back under and then finish it off and finish it until we get this part done and this part, and then we'll tie it off right here. So I'll be right back to show you that. Okay, so we're up to the point where if you pull it too far, it's gonna have this gap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold it down there. I'm gonna grab a zip tie and I'm gonna kind of go through several layers to kind of anchor our yarn there, okay? Because we don't want it to kind of slide over. All right, I love zip ties. They are amazing. They help us do all the things in life. So you're just gonna cut that off. And then over here, now if you see, I'm just kind of looking at my yarn here, and I'm gonna just kind of move it a little bit because I do want to weave some ribbon through this. So I want there to be sure that there's places I can do that. And I kind of feel like we've done this pretty tight at the bottom, so I'm gonna kind of pull it up a little bit. All right, so that way, basically we're pretty much at the end here. I did have to go into my second spool of yarn. So I'm gonna go under here, pull this out, and I'm gonna zip tie this end as well. So let's look at that. It's because this will want to go all the way up there, and we don't want that. So grab another zip tie and grab the back of it here and just anchor it underneath to as many as you want here. A few should be enough. So we're gonna do that. Okay. And then I'm gonna bring it through up and over. Okay. And when we get down to the edge here, I'm gonna start wrapping this, I think. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So like right here, I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna go in one more time over that last bracket. All right. All right, look at that. And then I'm gonna wrap a few spots. I'm just gonna go around where I feel like it needs just a little bit more yarn, okay? I probably have too long of a piece here, but that's okay. So I'm gonna go across here and then I'm just gonna kind of wrap over the brown frame. And then I'm gonna tie it off. Or you can even zip tie it. It's really up to you. Okay, so the next part is we're gonna cover the stem of our pumpkin here, and we're just gonna grab some twine that I get from the His and Hers studio in the wedding aisle. Again, I've used this probably for several projects now. So if you're seeing this, you're like, oh yeah, I've got some from that other project. So you can just use it. So just make 2 little slip knots here, zip tie it, whatever you wanna do. It's really kind of your preference. But I'm just gonna do this, and then all I'm gonna do, and I know I've got a lot here, so I'm just going to wrap our stem until we get to the end, and then we'll tie it off right there. And if I need to add more jute here, I will just simply tie it onto the end of one of this strand and just keep wrapping. So nothing's perfect in this world, so if you have to do that, don't worry about it. But I think I got a pretty decent amount of twine here. So just keep wrapping. Okay, so now we're going to start kind of weaving through some ribbon into our pumpkin if you want to be done. If you want it to be just like that, you can be done and just have a beautiful little pumpkin. If you want to just not add the ribbon, you can wait and watch towards the end when we add a little bit of leaves and stuff. But let me show you what we're going to do. They have this really pretty kind of like velvet almost ribbon. It's 1 inch wide by 21 feet. And again, links will be in the description box below. So what I want to do is I want to remind you of when you were a kid in arts and crafts and how you weaved the construction paper through each other. That's basically what we're going to do. So we're going to take our piece of ribbon and we're going to stick with where these wire cross frames are, okay? So I'm going to take, and we're going to start here. We're going to go through. And basically it's kind of up to you how many you want to go through, but I'm going to kind of try to do like every other one here. So I'm going to just kind of make sure we're pretty consistent. Okay, I just want it to look nice. All right. And this particular yarn is a little, what you call it? It's like, it just has a lot of fiber, so you're gonna wanna be really careful with pulling it too much. So I'm just gonna keep going. And as you can see, I'm pulling up on the ribbon, and you're going to glue it to the back of your wreath here. Let's look and see. You're gonna kind of separate them too, because you want this to look pretty even. All right, so we're gonna just like put glue on the back here. We've got a little bit of glue. All right, pull this one, and you want to just keep it pretty close to where the cross wire that we used before is, because we want to keep these pretty straight. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of glue here. I love the earthy feel that these colors give, but if you want more orange, there's orange, and you can even use this really pretty green. So there's lots to choose from. You could also use wired ribbon for this as well. It would work perfectly too. Okay, so we're done and we're ready to put a few final touches on it. I think it turned out really pretty. I love the woven look. It's just really pretty. So, and when you're done, you can just kind of like separate your yarn strands and straighten up your ribbon, whatever you want to do. Now, if you do use the yarn that doesn't have this like, the kind of the fuzzy part of it, it's all I can think of to describe it. They do have a Chanel chunky yarn that would be really good for this too. And there's so many colors. You really can just have fun playing with all the different possibilities here. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a few things to kind of add color to it. So I love this color here. Like I said, I think that these colors are making a big comeback. I will link all of these in the description box below. And I grabbed one of these leaf picks. And that's one of the things I like about for fall and for Christmas. They have such great picks that you can kind of, makes it easy to add to any sort of project or decor. So I'm gonna take this, and I just love the richness of these colors. And I also have this leaf here, and we may use that. So I'm gonna just kind of go underneath. I'm gonna work this leaf into the frame here, okay? And then I'm gonna turn it over, and we're just gonna zip tie it to that bottom frame, okay? So I'm gonna take a zip tie. You could also use pipe cleaners or even wire. It's really whatever you have on hand is good. All right, I did that. I'm going to clip these, and I'm gonna clip this too. And if you wanna add a little bit of glue, you could go ahead and do that too. But I'm going to run that zip tie that way. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of use these leaves in such a way, it's kind of hard to see here, that we're gonna just kind of bring them down a little bit because I don't wanna cover up too much of my stem there. Then I'm gonna take this little, I wanna say it's kind of like a pampas grass, if that's the right word for it. I'm sure there's a correct word. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just kind of run it through. Now, if you love bows, you can make a bow, and I have lots of videos on how to make a bow, but we're gonna kind of try to keep this pretty simple. I'm gonna look at this, see how I like it. All right, I might grab another one. Let me grab another one of these, hold on. Whenever making these projects, I always get more supplies than I need because I want the freedom to create something really beautiful. So I just love these. So I'm gonna put this one down in there as well. Again, we're just gonna kind of look at it and see here. Kind of like the way it's kind of coming down. All right, I'm going to grab another zip tie. And let's see if we can get them both in here with one shot. I think we can, yep. Again, just pull that really tight. I'm not gonna cut this quite yet. Not until we know exactly what we're doing. So I'm gonna put this kind of upside down, and I wanna kind of just, because of the wire in it, we're gonna just kind of make it go downward a little bit, all right? And then I wanna see what some of these leaves would look like. These come in a package, and you get 12 pieces for $7.99. Of course, right now it's 50% off, so even better deal. And I love how pretty these are, and I love the gold on this one. These metallics are so beautiful. So we're just gonna take this, and I'm gonna see how that looks. Yep, I kind of like that. So I'm gonna take a little bit of glue on the back of this. Grab my glue gun. You can get these at Hobby Lobby too. All right, and we're just gonna glue this on. Now, I do wanna tell you, all right, this is not an outdoor wreath. You don't wanna get this all wet, but because of the yarn, but this would make a beautiful decor statement in your dining room, your living room, your front entryway. There's so many possibilities. So I've got one there, and I'm thinking I wanna kinda add one down here. Yep, I think so. So we're just gonna keep adding a little bit of glue. These leaves are really pretty. I love these leaves, and I've made wreaths with these as well. Last year they had some really pretty like leopard print and navy blue, and they still have the navy blue ones, but I made a wreath with these, and they're just really nice quality. So I always like to stock up on these when it's fall, because isn't that beautiful? There's just something about that. So let me look at this. All right, so I'm looking, and I'm thinking maybe one more here. I like the logic of using threes here. Just maybe put one right there, and I think that's gonna do it for us. And then that way we don't lose the stem of the pumpkin. You see that. And this is just more of nature, and I just think it's gonna be so pretty. So I'm just gonna stick it back there, guys. And these leaves are so nice. So here's the thing. You can hang your wreath from this point, but I think this is beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love the colors. Oh my goodness. I am loving the way this turned out. You could have so much fun with all the different colors. Like I said, they had this kind of grayish green. I want to take off this for you so you can kind of see. Just to kind of give you an idea of some other possibilities. And there was this like chenille ribbon that I almost used, or yarn I should say, but that would be really pretty too. And some of you will probably comment and said, oh, you should have used that yarn, this color. And maybe I should have. You could even take another piece and you could go through and weave it through the yarn. But I think that this is so pretty. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So if you made it this far, look at how pretty that is. I love it. If you made it this far, I want you to leave a pumpkin in the comments section below. And I want you to tell me where you would put this in your home. I've been asking that question on a lot of my recent videos, and I'm always curious, where would you have something like this in your home? So anyways, number one, thank you Hobby Lobby for sponsoring another video and giving us the opportunity to share how we can craft together and make beautiful things for our home. And thank you for watching. Make sure to check back every Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here at Julie's Wreath Boutique. See you next time. Bye-bye.